Well, all you have to do is look right in front of you. We keep going around, searching high and low for something profound. Well, all you have to do is look right in front of you.
What is up, everybody?
Hey guys, good morning. We are doing an early stream today. Agent Bob, good morning. Good morning, James. We are doing an early stream today. We are doing what? This is Legionnaire.
This is Legionnaire.
So we are going with i5 14600K, 14th gen, still honestly same performance as, I'm getting all the numbers mixed up, like 265K.
Yeah.
Is that the?
I think it's the.
But it's still same as the Ultra series. Like their performance, like I would still take a 14th gen. So amazing CPU. G-Scale Trident Z memory, along with a 1 terabyte Crucial T500 drive. And then graphics card, obviously, you guys can see it. RTX 5070. So this is looking like it's targeting that perfect mid-range 1440p with some 4K, like 60 FPS single player titles. Well, 60 FPS plus, but like minimum 60 FPS. Go ahead and get this started. How's everyone's morning going?
How's your weekend?
I think mine just hit me. Like as we were sitting here for stream, I don't know what it was, dude. I freaking took a nap, a late nap. You know, when you lie down at like 7, took a nap, and then I woke up at like 2, and I just could not fall back asleep.
Oh shit.
You're just lying there in the void, you know. It's like, oh. Yeah. So that hit me. But other than that, my weekend was like, alright. I had family come into town just to check in and say hi. Played with my dogs for like 5 minutes at a time because they ran out in this heat and then would run right back in.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I feel you, boss. It was nasty. It was just humid. I feel it though by my house. Like here, I'm like, fuck, it's hot.
Yeah.
And humid. But then my house, since it's near the lake, like I get home and I'm like, oh, dude, it's like radiation on your skin. You can just feel the humidity. And it was disgusting. So I was a very much a stay-in weekend. I'm very open about being a bitch about the heat. Like I am very much like, if it's over 65, 70, I'm like happy zone. But once it hits like 75, that I'll start complaining. I'll be very open about it. I'll be like, I'm suffering, guys.
The same way though.
Yeah. But like some people just run hot. Like I run hot. I love walking outside in the winter though. I feel like a super Saiyan when I walk outside, because if it's winter time, like 30 degrees or down, like I just have the smoke coming off my body. And I'm like, hell yeah, dude, I'm super Saiyan. And then when I go to the gym and then walk outside in the cold, I'm just straight steaming.
Yeah.
And I sit in my car and all my windows fog up.
What would be a perfect budget Linux gaming PC? 1080p.
Ooh. Linux one is very easy to run on any computer. So like that's a good operating system if people have like old computers that aren't able to upgrade to Windows 11. Linux is super easy to run, so you can do that. But I mean, Linux is gonna take, like when it comes to gaming, it's gonna be the same no matter your operating system. So if you're looking at 1080p, I mean, CPU, I would go like a Ryzen 5 9600X or a, you know, Intel i5, 14400. And then GPU, I would probably, you know, 9060 XT or 5060 is where I would go.
What's up, James L and Cajun Bob? How's it going?
But price and performance, just because the 9060 XTs are new, it's going to take a while. Like the 9070 XTs, when they first came out, you could get them MSRP, and now you can't. 4060s are kind of at that point where you can't get them MSRP anymore. So I think if you plan on building sooner rather than later, I would go 9060 XT, because you can, most of the time, get the 16 gigabyte 9060 XT right now cheaper than an 8 gigabyte 4060.
How is the 6600 GPU?
That one, it is going to be like, it is really good, but that one, it is showing its age because it's now 2 generations old. So, a little over 4 years old. It's really good still if you're playing like esports. So if you're going to be playing like Marvel Rivals, Overwatch, Counter-Strike, still a really good card. And then single player games, if you're okay with like medium settings, big AAA single player games, because like consoles are medium, that's kind of the thing to look at. Like PS5, Xbox, they're running at PC like medium settings usually. So if you're okay with medium settings, it will still do medium, like 60 FPS, and you still have access to FSR, or up to FSR 3. Not 4. 4 is exclusive to the 90 series just because it requires the AI cores. But 9060 still a really good GPU. But I would say if you find it used, it's good. But the 6600. If you find it used, it's really good because I've seen them used for sometimes like $100. If you can do that, that's really good. But if you can't find it used, sometimes new, it's still going for almost 200. Graphics cards new don't really lose their value because a lot of companies pay MSRP for the card when they get it, and they actually don't profit too much when they sell it. So they just lose money if they start cutting the price of everything. So I would say only get the 6600 if you can find it used. If not, just a regular 9060 you can get for like $270, or the 9060 XT 8 gigabytes you can get for $270. And if the 6600 that you find is still going for 200, I think it's worth just that little bit extra to get the 9060 XT 8 gigabyte variant. That way you at least have FSR 4, which adds even more longevity to the device, and you're just getting something that you know is going to run everything perfectly right now and existing. So used cards are great, older cards are still good, but it's just like you just have to get a really good price on it compared to a new card. Because I've seen even like good cards, like dude, I've seen 2080 Supers going for like $200, and like for $200 I'd sell a good card.
Yeah.
But you just have to make sure. But I'm always scared with used though, because like you never know if it was used for like crypto mining or anything.
Right.
Like, that's always the hard thing. You never know the use case. And then when something's like bought on like, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, anything like that, like if it doesn't work, you're kind of out of luck. So I'm just a used skeptic, but Java is a really good site where people can sell their cards to Java, and Java will test, make sure everything runs right before they sell it. So if you want to try used, I would check out Java. And it's really like Star Wars Java, just JAWA. Is this all in your chat? My chat is still on.
Yeah, it was in one of the YouTube chats. Doesn't.
It doesn't show up on Beam. Okay.
Yeah.
Or even if like it's not the 9060, I mean, even like a 7600 XT and stuff, if you can find that even close to the price of a 6600. So I would just look at the prices of all those cards, like a 4060, 6600, 7600, and a 9060 XT 8 gigabyte. And I would just, like, if the price isn't drastically different between them, I would just go with the most recent model for the feature set. But if you just get a really good deal on an older generation, take the really good deal. I guess the last thing I'll say on this too, just as like a rule of thumb for everybody, there's this kind of a thing with computers where I know people are on a budget. I'm usually on a budget, I'm never gonna have like a 6090, 5090 build. Sounds like but there is like kind of like a balance where if you spend too little on a PC and you're like saving every penny you can, the parts will kind of age faster. so you have to upgrade sooner. And then what that ends up doing is you end up spending more in the long run because you have to upgrade sooner. And then if you spend way too much on a computer for your use case, you get diminishing returns because you're going to be upgrading at the same time anyways as if you had like one tier lower of it. So it's always worth it to just find that perfect sweet spot where you don't overspend, but you also get years out of your system.
He said, what if I'm playing retro games, PS3 and under?
Oh, dude, yeah, 6600. If that's the use case. Oh, yeah.
Looks like an MSI Mag Z790. You were correct. Tomahawk Max. Linux works well with all AMD.
Yeah. And Linux is just easy to run. Like if I had an old like office computer at home, you know, like mom, grandma, whatever, they bought because Linux is modular, and there are ways like where you can have Linux almost look like Windows.
Yeah.
So like if I had someone in my family that had like an old computer that, you know, Windows Vista, Windows 7, like not even Windows 10, and they're like and they just have to upgrade to 11 and they can't because of the hardware, I would make them download just Linux, keep the computer if all they're using is to check like email, and I would just have it look like Windows so they know where everything's at.
What's up, Nody? Says, what's up? Nice stream. Thank you. Linux works
I'm sticking
well
with my 5800X3D. The 5800X3D is still a good build. That's still what Jacob, one of our techs has in, one of our senior techs has in his computer, and then my buddy has a 5800X3D still, because like it's just a good CPU. It's a really good CPU, and AMD's done a really good job still supporting the platform. They just released a 5500X3D like recently. So AM4 is not. I mean, I'm thinking that 5500X3D might be their last AM4 chip, but I mean, this is 2 generations in the AM5, and they've still released quite a few chips for AM4. But yeah, like, dude, keep the 5000X3D. Like, honestly, you don't need to upgrade your computer every time like a new flashy thing comes out. It's like as long as you're having fun still and games are working, be happy, keep it. You know? Like, that's really all that matters, is that it's doing what you want it to do and you're still having fun on games. And then there are some people who almost never have to upgrade their computer, because there are some people who have like that one game, like they're like, oh, I come home and I play Counter-Strike. Dude, you never have to upgrade your computer then.
Yep.
Like, just build it once and keep it like that. Or like people who just like play World of Warcraft. It's like, if it runs it, you'll never have to upgrade.
Yep.
Like the only time I see people like rushing upgrades are people who play like every like AAA single player game when it comes out, because they get crazier. But I remember like I was a big console, like I always loved Gears and Halo, but PC I liked Counter-Strike, and then I got really into Overwatch. And I would play Overwatch at like 200 FPS, and then just because of like a single player game or something I wanted, I would upgrade and I would beat it, and then I would go back to Overwatch or Counter-Strike, and I'm still at like 300, 400, or now I'm at like 400, 500 FPS or whatever, and I'm just like, it didn't make a huge deal to me, because I'm not like Shroud or anything, guys, right? So like, when you start getting like 400 FPS, it doesn't help me too much, because I'm not amazing at the game. I'm good, not amazing. Like, I don't think on Overwatch, like, I don't think I'd ever leave Diamond. I don't think I'd ever hit like the Master ranks and whatever Celestial or whatever they are up of. Like, I hit Diamond and that's about it, and I'm happy with that, because that's like top tier normie player rank. But then I hate getting stuck in gold. Gold is my bane. I feel like gold on every game is the hardest rank to be stuck in. And I had this battle with rivals when I tried playing ranked, because I was like not solo queuing but duo queuing, and we got stuck in gold. and I told my buddy, because of Overwatch, I told my buddy this is gonna be a nightmare, and it was a nightmare. So I feel like gold is where like the people, there are some gold players, right? But a lot of it is like that's where like the diamond and platinum players who should be gold are stuck.
Yep.
Like my buddy and I, and then the bronze and silver players who got carried by friends to gold. So you'll just have a team where it's like your team is full of bronze, what should be bronze players, and you're playing a team that should be diamond players, and you just get steamrolled. And gold is one of the worst places to be stuck in.
1 sec with this. Let me get the specs ready.
This is that one tool that's so nice to get these standoffs in, but it's not. It's magnetic. Oh my gosh, he went from an FX 6100 to a 5800 XRD. Yeah, that is a huge upgrade, dude. Oh my gosh.
A bit. If you're on the vertical stream, you don't get to see the specs on the screen. But it's a i5 14600K, Gambias Xion P5 360 with LCD display, MSI Mag, Z790 Tomahawk Max Wi-Fi, 32 gigabytes of Kingston Fury Renegade DDR5 6400. We have a 1 terabyte. What's the
Crucial T500. T500.
T500. We got what's the brand?
Asus Prime 57.
The Gambias Atlas M1 with an LCD display. That's the case. You can see the top, the little bottom. Oh, his hat's covering it now. But that case actually, yeah, right there, he tapped it. Shows system comes right on the side of the case. Really cool. Cool, awesome Gambias case. And then it's got an 850, 80 plus gold, fully modular pouch. New here, I have a 3060 Ti and a Ryzen 5 5600G. What do you think is a good combo with 1540p monitor?
Wait. Oh, it's a different chat. What was the question?
I have a 3060 Ti and a Ryzen 5 5600G. What do you think? Is it? What do you think? Is it a good combo with a 1440p monitor?
5060 Ti?
3060 Ti.
3060 Ti. I mean, you'll if you do like DLSS and stuff, you'll get really good frame rates on, again, like esports and multiplayer titles at 1440p. But a lot of newer games, you might start to struggle if you play like single player games or some newer AAA titles at 1440p on a 3060. So that it really depends on the games you're playing. But if you are playing like AAA titles, I think you might want to look at upgrading the card just a bit. CPUs are more important as well, So I wouldn't say you have to upgrade the 5500G immediately, but the graphics card, if you're going 1440p at this stage, especially with Unreal 5 and some of its VRAM issues, are not issues, but usage, I would say maybe upgrade to something that has like a little more performance and like 12 to 16 gigabytes just to be safe. And it's not like you're going to use 16 gigabytes at 1440p, but that's just the choices you have on those mid-range cards is 12 or 16. And Brad did have to step out for a second, and I can't see YouTube chat on my display. So if you respond, I'm just going to have to wait for him to step back in here. What up? Oh boy. They have the orientational off on this 90-degree USB header. I'm just having to play some cable gymnastics to get it lined up. Is this another stream?
Yeah.
What time are we doing that one? Right after this one?
Yeah.
Man. No, I'm all cool for that actually. I'm just not prepared. What is that one?
Another Atlas. 2 Atlas in a row.
Oh, there you go. Oh, what's that?
Stomach.
Did you hurt your tummy?
Pizza.
Did that one guy? I can't see the YouTube chat over here, so I don't know if he replied about.
Oh yeah, he said when I play Red Dead. When I play Red Dead 2, with ultra settings, I get about 55 FPS, but it drops to 35 sometimes.
And that's at the 1440p, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying, like, if you're looking for a 1440p monitor to play on a 3060 Ti, like esport games and multiplayer games with DLSS, you should get a good competitive frame rate. But like the single player, like AAA titles, that card was more designed for 1080p, and it will struggle. And like Red Dead is also, I mean, the PC version, that's about close with the 3060 Ti release, and it's still hard. And then newer games coming out, like now, there's like single AAA titles, it might struggle a bit more. So like I said, I think with the 5500G, you could keep that for a little bit. But the graphics card, if you really want a 1440p experience, I would maybe think about upgrading to a 5060 Ti. If you want just single player, like if you want single player with like a stable 60 FPS and up for 1440p, I would look at like a 5060 Ti 16 gig variant or a 9060 XT 16 gig variant. Because those will at least, like I said, those will at least do like with FSR4 or DLSS4, they will do a steady 1440p 60 up for single player games. Oh, I thought you were like handing something.
Basically the same build.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exact same build.
Will you put an AIO in there? Yep.
Yeah. Yes, that's what we are doing.
An AIO.
So AIOs, one thing I think if anyone builds their own PCs, one thing I always do with AIO builds, because depending on the case, it's not all mid towers, even though they're mid towers, are the exact same dimensions. So a lot of the times, what happens is, a lot of times what will happen is when you put the AIO in, it will completely block off access to the CPU 8 pins. So if you build your own computer, I always recommend putting in those CPU cables, pre-routing them before you put the cooler in.
What's up, Kina?
Where are you, dude?
Do you like factory making machine or games?
Like Satisfactory and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things like Minecraft and stuff to where I will play them a lot, but I'll play them a lot when I'm in that mood, and I'll probably grind it for like a month. I have Satisfactory, and I'll grind it for like a month, and then like the mood just dies out, and then I don't play until like a year or so.
I just got page 2 over the weekend. That is.
I know. Oh, was it Factorium is another big one.
You build some ITX2. What's your opinion about the popularity of ITX? The popularity ITX gets in recent years.
I mean, I think ITX has always had like. You're right. It hasn't always been popular. I think it's always been a want. I think a lot of people have always wanted ITX. The problem was cases just were not as good. The last 5 years, cases for ITX have gotten so much better performance-wise. So I don't think it's necessarily that ITX has gotten more popular as much as it's people have just been more. People who've always wanted ITX now feel more trustworthy getting it. And I think that's why we're seeing it blow up. Because, like, I just think the reason I think of that too is, like, even if you look at console gamers, whenever a slim model comes out, they're always happy to get the slim model. So people do like having something a little more condensed. It's just that they couldn't trust, like, it wasn't. If you had an ITX more than 5 years ago, it was like a lower end or like mid-range build. Now you get ITXs that are so good that you can put like 5090s and a 9950X 3D in there, and you're fine. So I love ITX systems too. Like, I've always liked them. I have an ITX as like a backup for like the living room and like a travel computer. And I think it's great. And then I've even condensed down, like, I have an MATX case, but that it's really borderline ITX size. So I love it. It's just portable. I think it looks cleaner on the desk and gives me more space. And the performance is close to the same. And I also do like, I'm like mid-range, upper mid-range builds for me. I sit in the 1440p playground. So for the components I put in there, they just don't get hot. And yeah, so I'm a big supporter of ITX. I think the only thing rough on ITX right now, even though you're right, like its accessibility has gone up, which has also made the popularity go up a little bit, is sometimes the cases and parts of them are so expensive. Which I am not,
probably mostly because it still is pretty deep.
like, I am not a manufacturer at all, so I don't understand how cost works. But in my mind, I feel like ITX should be cheaper because you use like less material.
Yeah, you think, but they don't make as many of them, right? Because ATX is still more popular, so they don't order as many.
But MATX isn't as popular as ATX, but MATX is still usually cheaper.
Yeah, but I feel like even ITX is even more niche than MATX.
So yeah, so it's
Yeah.
like whenever you see the ITX motherboards, and it's like $100 more than the ATX counterpart, and you're like, wow, it uses less. I don't get it. But again, like, I'm not a manufacturer, so I don't know why less material costs more. Brad's probably right, as in
What's up, trades?
lower demand.
Yeah. What do you?
But I feel like
think of-
lower demand should make it cheaper. Because usually supply is high and demand is low. And some of the cases are super expensive. Like, there's some ITX cases that are like, because they're machined aluminum, they're like $400 for the case.
Right, but then wouldn't it?
I don't think we
I
should
don't know.
rationalize this.
Yeah,
think-
it's not.
Too much to
Maybe
think
it's-
about. But that's like probably the biggest thing right now for people that still don't have an ITX that want one, is that the parts are just, the motherboards and sometimes the cases are more expensive, and then you trade that with, not all of them can fit the best hardware, so it's like crazy that you can like buy $100 like ATX case. Where did I put? What was I trying to say? So I think the issue is like you can buy like $100 ATX case and you can put like a 5090 in there, and like a, you know, beefy knock to a D15 or like an AIO in there, and you're comfortable. And then sometimes on an ITX case, you spend like $200 on the case, and you might not be able to fit an AIO and a 5090, and the motherboard's also more expensive. So I think the price is the only thing that still holds some people back. Because like some of the good cases, like an ITX case I really like is the Formula T1, but that's like a $250 ITX case.
James Doe says, what do you think of the NZXT motherboards?
Performance wise, I mean, they work, right? They work. They're just a little too I hate to say it because we use NZXT, but they're a little too IKEA for me. Just NZXT, it's just too perfectly square, perfect like circle punch outs on the cases. The board is like has these perfect square heat sinks and stuff on them, and it's just a little too IKEA for me. I'm more when it comes to designs, I'm more of like even with housing and stuff, right? I like older rustic type of stuff. I like stuff with like a little bit of style. When it comes to like buildings, I prefer like how architecture used to look versus just big square rectangle towers. So the NZXT is just, it works, it's good, it's just not my cosmetic style to look at. I'm not a big fan of like modern designs, I guess. Everything's like white, perfectly squared.
Yeah.
I like stuff with some character to it. But that being said, like I said, they function. If you're just gonna make a gaming PC, they function just fine. Like you can still go in the BIOS, turn on your XMP profile, your Expo profile, boot into Windows, and play a game.
What about the wood and cases?
Yep.
You like that?
Yep.
New
Absolutely.
Design? Yes.
Awesome.
I like the wood.
Yeah. As a gift, when the North was announced, it was pre-ordered for me, and I got it that December. It came out as a birthday/Christmas gift, and I love the wood. I'm like wood and black case, no RGB, and that wasn't even like a new thing. I have like I would try whatever I could. Like my whole house is like black and walnut. I love wood. Like I said, I love the more rustic design. Even my furniture is like, I don't know, I'm just a fan of it. I want to have, like, one thing I really want is one of those closets where I'm going to take down the closet door and like cut a section. I love it when people put the rolling barn doors for like a closet. Like that old rustic design, I love that type of stuff. And so, I also like stuff that's like, very natural. Like this is a weird shirt, but if anyone like sees me, I wear like dark like pine green shirts or brown shirts and muted colors. Like I love earthy tones. So my cases the last 3 years now have been black, wood, blacked out fans, and wood front panels. Just no RGB, no lights, just old school.
Will the 5700G bottleneck the 4060 or 6600, or should I upgrade my CPU to a 5800 XT?
No. 5700G is fine.
I saw there is a new ProArt with wood too. I think the wood. I think it's too much. I think the wood's too much.
The new ProArt cases, the ones I've seen, they're just massive. They're basically just almost like they're meant to be EATX cases. No, so I can agree when wood can become too much. Like this is my thing is wood, RGB, anything that's a style on a case or furniture or whatever. I like it more when it's an accent piece rather than the design. So like when I would do RGB in like my original systems, or like my North had like a strip in it, I just did like, I always do like a muted, like, you know, when you guys see those antique LEDs that like light up like old fashion lamps, they're just that like antique orangish hue. I would just put a little strip in somewhere and I would just put that antique orangish hue as more of an accent piece, but I would never do like 20 just RGB fans, RGB RAM everywhere just lighting up. And the same thing with the wood, like the North and the A3, I like it because it's just those little strips on the front panel. And it's like, it's just an accent piece. It's not the entire thing. And that's kind of what I like. That's where I stand on like anything RGB, wood, or some people have done like just other designs. Like there's cases that have like a carbon fiber texture thing as well. And it's like that, like I said, I like it stuff when it's just like a hint of it, not the whole thing. There it is. I'm also not like an interior decorator or designer at anything. So like, I don't know, dude. Like I think my stuff is cool, but how like anyone could come over and say it's tacky as shit. So I have no ground to stand on, no ground or home education besides real estate to act like I know what good design is. Sorry guys, I know you guys are just looking at messy cables right now until I clean them up, but it is really hard for me to find a good angle when I'm putting coolers in for you guys to also see. That's one of the hardest things about streaming PC builds is getting an angle where you can functionally and easily install something but also have it presented well.
Yeah.
So at this point I can at least put it. But I was happy to see the wood come back to PCs because that was just something I thought was lost to the test of time. And then I remember I really wanted the fractal era. There's the era 2, but the original era was from almost 10 years ago, and they tried doing wood, but they did a solid piece on top, and it just the temperatures were awful, and the case kind of flopped. The new era, the era 2, I really like. And like I was happy when Fractal originally tried to bring it back. Now I'm happy that they were able to do it. But I also like it's hard to say it because like I'm in this weird spot where I love like uniqueness too. So I love it when each company, like I can look at a case and be like, yeah, I'm like 90% sure Fractal designed it. Or I can look at a case and say like I'm 90% sure that's a Lee and Lee case because everyone kind of has their own like thing. And so like I'm happy the wood is like making a comeback, but I also like I'm not the biggest fan of trend chasing. I like it when everyone just kind of has their niche, like their design, their look, and they stick with it.
Yeah.
Same with like thermal take. Like I can see a thermal take case go, yeah. It's NZXT, look, it's perfect square. Everything square with circle punch out. That's NZXT for sure. And so that's all I really gotta say. Happy it's back, but I think it's coming back a little too harsh. And I think what happens is when that happens is it dies out.
Yeah.
Like it'll die out and then I'll have no wood cases to upgrade to in the future.
Yep.
So I'm happy they're back, but I do think they came back a little too strong. Like I said, trend chasing doesn't always end up good for the consumer in the long run. I'm still amazed like the dual chamber cases are still going strong because I remember like 2019, 2020 when you would look up every once in a while I would look up like hashtag like PC setup or something just to see, and it was like 2019, 2020 90% was O11s. That's all you saw.
Yep.
And still to this day, that's all you see is O11s or some sort of O11 clone.
Yep. And
I was like, damn, dude, this has been like a fad that has really, I mean, they're good cases. They're great. But that like aquarium, like glass from the front, glass on the side. That's still going strong, so maybe there's a hope that wood stays going strong too. But I feel like a lot of YouTubers love the wood because they're like, you know, a lot of the tech tubers are in their like 30s. And I feel like, but when I talk to like people like who call the store or anything like that, it definitely seems like it's a, let's say like 28 and older thing. Because like a lot of people like 25 and ish younger, they just want like white builds or black builds and just RGB everywhere. So I still feel like wood, it's cool, but I still think it's a little bit of a niche because it's something I only see like you said, 28-year-olds and up looking at. Dude, our camera's been dying a lot more often. How long have we been on? I feel like I've been doing this pretty quick.
Almost an hour.
Yeah, almost an hour and the camera dies.
He is in the back shop. Oh, okay. It's just very warm out there. Do you want to say hi? Oh, okay.
And one thing I didn't think was going to make a comeback, speaking of tech stuff, is Haven bringing back acrylic side panels.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was long gone. Then I saw that and I was like, that's a play. That's a play. But their cases are really good. Their cases, everything I've seen, I haven't gotten to personally work with one yet, but I've been following them for a good minute. Everything they make seems really good. And I'm still waiting for a day where we just get computers made up. The whole computer's tempered glass. One thing I don't like, I actively, and everyone who's been on the stream more than once knows that I absolutely love Fractal and I love the torrents. But one fad that even the torrents follows, and I don't like it at all, is glass back panels.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
wants to look at their cables? I don't understand it. And what makes no sense on the torrent, the white version of the torrent gives you a white back.
Oh, do they?
But the black one just puts glass on it. And it was the same thing with like the Land Cool series. Is like, I just want to.
Oh, Land Cool 3.
Yeah, I wish I could sit there and rationalize this with them, because what they did was they made the back panel glass. And then they sat there and said, oh, well, people don't like looking at the cables. Ew. And then they over-designed it and put these doors on the inside that you close to cover the cables. There was like a top one and a huge left one. You put those in, locked them in, and then you close the glass panel and like, whew, okay, we spent all these man hours engineering these doors so we can hide the cables. And it's like, bro, you could have just made the whole back panel just solid color. Problem done. You wouldn't have had to make those doors.
Yeah.
So like, the glass back panels, I don't get. And I like almost don't want to get it. I don't want to understand it. I'm not a big fan of that idea. I think that's one thing, PC thing. I wish, stop now. Stop making glass back panels. I just don't like it, and I don't think I ever will.
Smoked more ribs yesterday.
Oh yeah, how'd that come out?
So good.
It's what, dude. I don't know.
I overcooked them a little bit. The recipe that I follow said it's takes about like 6 hours. So I did everything, and then it was actually about 5 hours, and it was a little overcooked.
Yeah, it's also like everything. Like, there's a lot of factors that people don't take in their recipes. Even something that's like just the meat itself, the consistency of the meat, how thick the cut is, how much it weighs. Like that also changes how long the actual cut is.
Yeah.
That's why I like when recipes say like if it's this many ounces, you cook it for this long, or this many ounces, this long.
Yeah.
But dude, still, slightly overcooked ribs,
Dude,
still eat them.
Who cares, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's as long as it's not a hockey puck meat, it's good.
yeah, exactly. They were literally just like, I picked them up off the grill. They were ripping off. There was some tender.
Dude, you know what my favorite thing is though? That's like everyone knows this feeling. I feel like everyone has that one family member that loves well done. And everyone has seen the reaction when you go out to eat and they order that meat and they're like, well done, please. And the way the whole family will just look at them with disgust. And everyone just kind of has that telepathy, like, this fucking guy.
My dad is a medium well guy
Oh,
for every job.
ooh.
I'm like, dude, can't do that to me. It's disrespectful.
My mom was like, well done. And like, she would do burgers well done.
Yeah, script is leave. Okay, dude.
Finally.
Oh, with Pattinson?
Yeah. The directors teased it. And Obi-Wan season 2 is in the works.
Did it die again?
Oh, yeah. What the hell? Oh, it's back.
Oh yeah, sweet. That's my favorite thing, dude. But yeah, my mom likes well done meat, dude, and she likes burgers well done.
You really need a power tool for the little screws? Yes.
Yeah, no, I just
You
love
don't,
it because it makes my job so much.
Yeah.
I don't like artificial difficulties, right? Like if I can use a hand screwdriver, like at home I have a hand screwdriver because I just too lazy to go out and spend the money on an electric.
Yeah, it's one of those things where
But
your
it's
hand
like-
gets tired after you build 4, 5, 6 of these things. If you're not using a power tool.
Oh, you're giving me the benefit of the doubt, Fred. I'm just lazy. Like it's like,
Prevents fatigue.
yeah, no, I just like, you know, it's also like I could drink water like a hamster, but why do that when I can just chug a bottle? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things I could do that are the harder way to do it, but why? That's another thing, dude. Do you have a family member that hates convenience? So I have a family member, not gonna out anyone, but if anything's convenient, they hate it. Like, what is it? Like, freaking, I remember, like, when I was a kid, real little kid, I had, one of those old lawnmowers that you, like, oiled up, and it was, like, the rotating blade.
Oh, yeah.
Because we didn't have a huge, because a lot of our areas like vegetation, not grass. So we'd have a
Yeah.
huge spot. And I remember my mom finally, like elementary school, got, and this, there's been more examples of this, but I feel like everyone has this family member too, is like, when we finally got a lawnmower with like a drive, like an actual lawnmower, they just sit there and be like, look, we got a new lawnmower with like an actual drive to it. They're like, yep, just one more way for humans to be lazy.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, like you want to fucking just, you just enjoy suffering in like 100-degree heat, and then like, yeah, look, like there's I prefer charcoal, but like people get propane grills and they're just like, yep, I can just turn it on, like, yep, making it just one last thing you got to do, I guess. Lazy.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, like why does it have to be like this? But do you have one of those people, like, or are you lucky enough to avoid it?
No, I don't really have anyone like that.
Damn,
Thankfully.
we have one, and it's just so fucking. I'm like, who sits there and just enjoys suffering? So much like, oh man, you don't have to. These are the same people that are like, yeah, when I went to high school, I fought off 30 crocodiles.
Yeah.
I had to go up Mount Everest, and I didn't bring the slide most days, so I ended up having to climb down the other side. And then,
They didn't have slides when I was a kid. Yeah.
you know, we didn't have cars in 1967, so I had to walk, or buses, so I had to walk
Yeah.
80 miles to the muck and the mud, and it's like, and it's like, it sounds like you enjoyed it. It's like, we fixed these problems, and now you're bitching about these. Oh, but yeah, we legit have one of those people in the family, like family friend group, I would say, not specifically family friend group that, like, dude, if humanity finds anything to make life more bearable, they're like, oh, yep, just one more thing to make you lazy. It's like, bro, like,
Chill out, man. It's
yeah,
not that serious.
yeah. I don't think like having
Yeah,
a
true.
drivetrain like lawnmower is gonna like push someone to be like, why even work in general now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Through this. Hell, I think that with or without the drivetrain.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. People release trains. They're like, oh, okay. Too fucking lazy to hop on your carriage and walk, fucking make a 3-day trip out of it just to get to the next town. We're going to hell in a handbasket, is what they say. I love it. I'm like, nice. Nice. Oh, there was legit time when I got my car. It was automatic. And they're like, oh, you got an automatic? Yeah. Okay. Automatic vehicles. And I love poking. Yeah, what's wrong with automatic vehicles? Oh, just can you stare off into space when you drive. You know, with a manual, you at least have to pay attention to the car in the road. Now you can just daydream, and that's why you kids are dying. It's like, oh my god.
Is that a real combo?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that was a real conversation. Like that's why everyone's dying is these automatic cars. It gives them too much freedom to idle and play on their radio and their phone, and it's like, no, like having automatic doesn't naturally make you stupid. It's just I like manual too. I
Sounds
do.
like actually like my grandma.
Yeah, it's just
Or my grandma.
But then there are degrees where I'm getting to that level because I hate TikTok and stuff like that. But I'm not like to the degree where I'm gonna sit there like, oh, someone's making videos with their phone. Too lazy to break out the old VHS recorder. Fucking, this isn't real, but I can see it. Like when video quarters, this person probably saw video quarters were made for the first time. Oh, now you don't have to fucking. People are gonna get stupider. They don't actually have to remember this shit anymore. They'll just have
Yeah.
videos. Makes people dumber. Like that's just how they think, and I'm like, man, you are just. You need to be on TV. Like a TV show needs to be written about you. This is just. Yeah, I think the last conversation we had is my cousin, fiance, or not fiance, husband, saved up and got a really nice flat top grill. And it's like a dual grill. So part it's flat top, and then there's a smoker with like an actual chamber to drop in like the flavor wood chips. And it's a super nice $1,000 grill. And it has an automatic sensor on it. So you choose, so it I don't know how it reads the meat or whatever, but you can choose what you want the meat at and what you want the temperature. And like you can walk away from the grill and it will automatically fluctuate the temperature
Oh,
if it
nice.
is too hot or too low.
That's how my trigger is.
And when they like, he was so happy. So like one day they came to visit and he didn't visit because he was like, this is getting delivered this weekend. I'm gonna have a solo barbecue and test it out. And I was on his side. I was like, fuck yeah, dude, fuck my house. Stay
Yeah.
home and fucking grill. And this person, they were telling how excited he was and why he wasn't here. And they're like, oh. So they can just walk in the house and like not even have to like keep an eye on the grill. Yeah, just one more way. Humanity's just getting lazy, I guess. It's like, it sounds like amazing. Like, do you know how many times I would be like, too many times like I've been grilling and like while I'm grilling, it's like, Nick, can you help me with this? Nick, I gotta set the table or set this. I'm just like, fuck. All right. Like having that would be so nice because you could actually like if people need help with other stuff, you could walk away and
Yep.
not catch the entire yard on fire. And it's just like, no. That's the sacrifice you're willing to make when you grill is how this thinks.
Yep.
But I love it. Like, it's actually funny to me. That's why I'll poke the bear on it. Because I'm like, I want to see this. I want to see what they have to say.
Yeah.
And then, like,
Yeah.
sometimes as a kid, I would just make shit up. Like, I would just say, yeah, did you see that they're making these now? And I would just make up some piece of technology just to see them get fucking pissed off about it. Oh, you're telling me you can just dial the phone number? You kids are too lazy just to spin the rotary. And they're not that old. I'm making fun of them, but like right now they're in like their 60s. But they're
Oh,
not even
really?
that old. They just fucking. And he's one of those guys that like goes out and he'll mow his lawn with like a weed whacker. And it's like you were just purposely making your life so much harder. For like the idea that you can like tell people that you're not lazy, but it's like, dude, you could be the biggest workaholic in the world, and I could say, would you rather be outside like weed whacking, or would you rather be like sitting inside with a cold beer watching the game? Everyone would say, yeah, it's inside.
Fanatic Gaming, you won the giveaway. Holy crap.
Oh hell yeah!
Man.
That was the Beam one or ours?
The Beam.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah!
it ended Friday. The winner was drawn and announced Saturday, I believe.
Heck yeah, dude!
Yeah, man. As soon as Beam gives us everything we need, we'll get it ready.
I'll make Brad do it. Brad, I think, should build the giveaway.
That'd be cool.
He's the king of the stream.
Cool with that.
Every once in a while, we need to. I just really want to be man in the chair. Just one less thing I gotta do. But being man in the chair is nice.
It is pretty nice.
No one cares what man in the chair is saying. Brad could say the weirdest stuff, and it would only impact our stream if I said it because I'm the one. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta stream Heat.
Dude, like I said, I actually really like that game because, like I said, I've seen those like chain together and like the get over it and stuff, and they seem like a fun like I would beat it or play it within the 2 hours of Steam and then probably just return it because it seems like that more of like a YouTuber game.
Yeah.
Like they'll watch like Markiplier or something play it, but I wouldn't want to. Peak though, because they actually have like the survival-ish mechanics with like the stamina bar. It feels more like an authentic like game, like not just a quick like. Because we all know what I'm saying, right? Like sometimes you see those games that come out and you're like, okay, this is definitely like tabletop card simulator shop or whatever it was. Like that's a
Yeah.
streamer game.
Yep.
And like we all see those games. This one feels like an actual game, and I do thoroughly enjoy it. And it was all off that one clip. And I was just like, I just saw it on Instagram, and I was like, what game is this? This looks funny. And came into work, and I just felt like an old man. Because I was like, dude, I need to find this game. Everyone's like, yeah, dude, that's peak. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, fuck, I don't. Jesus. And I went up the bread. Oh, yeah. Yep. Peak. Yep. And then it's like, dude, it just came out. Literally.
Jacob told me.
Yeah, he is a youngin', so I'm up to date with like the games that I know are coming out or that I want. I'm up to date with the developers, right? That I grew up with.
Yeah.
But like I'm not up to date on like the little indie titles coming out. Son of a gun! I got one piece here. Oh, I got it.
Hey. Clean GPU, man.
Yeah, I like the Prime cards, but again, guys, my dream graphics card is a black rectangle, so it's not hard to impress me. And this Prime is a perfect black rectangle. I also like the tough cards. And this generation, I will say, this is probably the first generation where I thoroughly enjoy the ROG cards. Because it's just a black and chrome square with the powder-coated heatsink. I wish every GPU that was black had a powder-coated heatsink. It just looks better. It just looks better. Like, I wish everyone did that. I almost think we should bring it to legislation. Black graphics cards must have a powder-coated heatsink. This is like a smaller heatsink. It doesn't notice, but like on bigger cards where they just have an open heatsink.
Hey, what's up, Angel?
Oops. Where did I put the panels? It sounded like my phone vibrating.
It was my phone.
I was like, I don't think I have mine. Your device vibrates the same as mine.
That's kind of crazy because it's Samsung.
That is crazy. This is the first Samsung I've had. I've had it for about a year now, but that's the first Samsung I had 4 years. And it's only because like it was like a deal with
What
like.
did you have before? Oh, you had the Pixel, right?
Yeah, I always like Pixels. Like the camera's good, and they're like $500 opposed to like $1,000. Because like I generally, guys, with my phones, I use Instagram for memes, and I text and make phone calls, and that's all I use my phone for.
Yep.
Don't use Facebook. Don't use Twitter. Don't use TikTok. Don't use Snapchat. I have Snapchat. Don't ever open it though. It's like I just.
Same. I have Snapchat.
No.
I don't use it
Yeah, I just
anymore.
take photos of like places I go, like just memory-based photos, and then occasionally use like Google Maps. So I was always a Pixel guy for the longest time because they were just. Because sometimes you get like there was a while where you buy like a $500 phone and you're like, this is expensive, and it would be some like HP or HTC phone that would break in like 2 days, and Google just made like $400, $500 phones that were actually decent. That's all I needed. I'm a very easy man to please. Also, I think being a PC guy really puts like phones and stuff in perspective. So I'm sure everyone else gets this. It's like, I'm sure everyone else gets this since you're PC gamers. It's like when I see the prices of a phone, I compare it to, it's a computer. A phone is like a mini computer now.
Yep.
So when I go in and they're like, yeah, this phone's like $1,300, and I'm like, well, I could get a Ryzen 5 7600. I could get 5070, 32 gigs of RAM, 2 terabyte drive, and I'm just like, it's just power cycling, guys. Don't worry when it shut off. So it's like, I sit there and I'm like, nah, I could make a computer that would quadruple 10 times do more
than what this little phone can do. So why am I spending it? Why are you asking for $1,000 and then for me to upgrade it in 2 years?
Yeah.
So I just was like, no. It's that PC gamer brain, PC builder brain. Is like whenever I see technology, I always compare the price. Just all right. Screen
It's weird. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we still have the cellophane on here, the peel. But screen is on, everything's powered up. There will have to be an app installed or software installed to get the screen and the digital display reading, so they won't pop up right now. But once it's programmed, everything will show up. But computer posted is good to go.
Yep. This is our Legionnaire mod.
And I'm just gonna fix like 2 cables in here I saw kind of sticking in front of the RAM. Did I tell you I was like talking to someone and I think like it's like such an easy mistake for a general consumer, but I was so confused. I was talking to my buddy because we built his computer over the weekend. How much memory did you get again? And he was like 4 terabytes. I was like, holy shit, dude. And then it like we sat there, it was like, where do you even find that? And I don't know why my brain didn't click for it for a bit. And I clicked and I was like, oh fuck. You meant an SSD, like storage. Yeah. Because like when you build PCs, when you hear the word memory, you think of RAM, your system memory. And I'm like, how do you get 4 terabytes of RAM? Like what?
Yeah.
And then he sat there, he's like, oh no, I meant memory like my SSD. And I was like, yeah, I get that. It's so confusing. Alright guys, I'm gonna get this packed up or carried out to get programmed, and then we will be back in maybe 5-10 minutes to set up another build, and it looks like we are doing another of the same exact model.
Yep. Very similar. Actually,
I think it's this, like the SSD might be a different size,
Yeah.
but like it's the same.
same build. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, we're back.
We are back. I didn't lay everything out because we are doing the exact same build, exact same graphics card, same board, same case, same cooler. 2 like minds in a row. Except this one is going, they went with the i7 14700K instead of the i5 14600K. But build process wise, it's the same.
Little dull there, isn't it?
What is?
That blade.
Yeah, dull. I'm also just like I said, dude, I just start crashing, and at some point, I'll probably start talking a lot to wake myself up. But it's just one of those Mondays, guys, you know, Mondays. And then I feel like everyone's been there where you can be like full of energy, or at least like you feel good.
Yep.
Like you don't feel energized, but you feel good. And then all of a sudden it's like that, like a switch hits in your body, and you just go like, you feel heavier, and you just feel like slow and sluggish, and you're just like, I'm done.
Yep.
That hit me already. I think it's just the heat, dude. The heat, because like even in here, the temperature is better than the warehouse. The humidity's still there, so I can still feel like the sweat on my neck and my back, and it's just.
Yeah, it was. I was smoking the rib yesterday.
Is that what they're calling it now?
Yeah, that's what they call it now. And usually I like to sit outside with it. Yesterday, after like 45 minutes, I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm just going inside and setting a timer.
You know what, Brad? I back that.
There's just some days and it's like,
Yeah, I was thinking about grilling this weekend because it didn't rain until like yesterday night.
Yep.
Last night, not yesterday. But so this guy already had a heat spreader on the SSD. So we are going to have to take this off because most heat spreaders, they'll have like little screws here and you can take it off. The crucial ones are pretty locked in. So we're going to put the heat spreader in the baggie so you have it. But we are just going, and this is a Gen 4 drive. The reason I am doing it down here is because you do have a PCIe 5 lane up top. And so I don't want to take that away just in case for some reason you have the need of a Gen 5 drive. You will have that lane open. And we will put the heat spreader in your accessory bag and your manual bag. So that way you still have it if for some reason you ever change this drive out and then you have 2 normal drives and you will need the heat spreader. Yeah, I was about, because we didn't get rain till last night, I was thinking about grilling this weekend because family was out, but I stepped outside and I was like, oh, I can't add a fire to this.
yeah.
Like I just, like dude, it gets really humid even at night at my house. So when we would have like bonfires, I would just like look at people with disgust who just wanted to sit close to the fire like this. I'm like, oh no, dude, I want to go inside in the AC. Like I'll just put on like a campfire, like 8-hour video on YouTube and put that on the TV. That'll be pretty enough. Like bake s'mores in the freaking oven.
Yeah.
Like I'm not feeling this. I've been like homeless, dude. I've cooked s'mores on the freaking stove. I
Yeah.
wasn't actually homeless, but I mean like I've cooked s'mores on the stove before.
Yeah.
Cause like we have one of the stoves where like one of the knobs is like super boil or whatever, so the flame
Yeah.
just goes up, and I'm just like, like, oh yeah, dude. I just, and you know what? Some people say the people who don't live in humidity say dry heat's better. It's not. It's not. Like even when dry heat, there's almost like when I wear
I
like.
prefer dry heat.
Yeah, it still sucks.
It
If,
still
it, if it's like if humidity's like 11, 15 out of 10 on the shit scale, dry heat's still 10.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I can't, because we get dry heat here sometimes, and it's like because sometimes it gets hot in like February, so out of nowhere, and it'll be like dry heat, and like I can feel like radiation and friction like in my socks and in between my skin and clothes. And I'm like, I just don't like this. It's just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like dry heat isn't as bad butt naked as humidity. But like normal going out fully clothed, I just don't like it. That's why when you see, I can't believe like people in LA will like walk along the beach and they'll wear like jeans and hoodies and stuff. And
I
I'm
know.
like, oh my gosh. Or
Dude,
they'll,
when I was in Miami last winter, it was like 73 in the morning. It was like 7 a.m. There were people walking around in sweatpants and hoodies.
yeah, I couldn't do it.
And I'm like, dude, this is like nice weather. What are you doing?
That's why like when I played because like GTA 5 was like LA, right? And I would see like clothes options at the store, and I'm like, why are sweatpants and all this stuff even an option? Flannels with like long undershirts. I was like, who's double layering up in like 100-degree weather?
You want sweat? How was that?
Yeah, who wants to just sit there and sweat? There are some people like Kev who loves the feeling of sweating.
I don't know. Kev's a different beast altogether.
Like, dude, I'm almost about to pull out that toddler brain and ask TJ if he'll get like a little sprinkler outside we can run.
Sprinkler party.
There's been like a few times like when I've gone to the restroom and all I've done is like walk back there just to put cold water on my face and sort of sit and stare at the mirror in agony for a bit. You know when you just
Yep.
you just stare at the mirror and dread, you're like, it's... Yeah, I've done that a few times this last week. 2 weeks now. It's been 2 weeks of
Yeah.
absolute nightmarish.
This week it should be a little. Won't be in the night.
It depends. It just rained. So what's gonna happen is when that sun comes out,
It's supposed to rain more tonight.
yeah. But when the sun comes out, that rain evaporates and we get more humidity.
Yeah.
And
Tomorrow's supposed to be less humid. It's the
I hope.
forecast.
I hope. Just the humidity is one reason I also could never be that old. Now I'm 35. I just sit there sweating. Like I want to go to Montana. I'll just hang out with the grizzly bears. Hang out in the cold.
Damn, last year I'm looking at the history. The lowest was the for today. The record was set for as 48 degrees.
There were
Last
times. Yeah, there
This
was.
summer. That's
Dude,
nuts.
I remember you're a little bit older. But I was like 20 or 21. It was like April or May. We had like one of the worst blizzards ever.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, it'll like
Yeah, Chicago weather is weird.
yeah, it'll be like 90 degrees one day and then a blizzard the very next
Yeah.
morning. and then it melts and goes back up.
We don't really ever have a really smooth. I mean, we have, but it's not often that we have a smooth spring where it slowly transitions into
Yeah.
the heat. It's
Like
usually like
an occasional sprinkle in spring and this. No, our springs are always a hybrid of summer and
Yeah.
winter still. It's either 90 or freezing.
literally. We'll go from 1 week of 80s to the next.
Fall is my favorite though. Fall here is
Yeah.
perfect. Fall will always be, dude. That's why like in school, I don't know what it was in school when I think every kid was like summer is the best. Fall, I was like I can wear what I want, be comfy. When it's like 60, I can wear t-shirt and shorts and be cool.
Yep.
I can wear like a sweater and jeans perfectly fine. Like I could wear what I actually like to wear no matter what and be completely comfortable. And I could actually, because I like sleeping with a blanket, dude, in the summers here, I'll put the AC on and I won't sleep with a blanket. Like I just throw it off the bed.
Do you have a ceiling fan?
Yeah. Ceiling
Yeah, I
fan,
like the best
AC,
of that.
and portable. I'm doubled up on AC upstairs because I have
Oh,
an AC on, like central air, and a portable AC unit. I point the vent so it points up at the ceiling fan. And I will like lay, I'll adjust myself so I'm directly under that ceiling fan. And then like, oh, sometimes you're in bed and I'm just like, oh, and I'll take my shirt off and roll on my belly and just feel it blow on my back. And I'm just like, oh, happy little boy right there. Happy little boy. Because like the worst feeling is just trying to fall asleep in the heat, and then you just
Mhm.
wake up in a puddle and you're.
Yep. Yeah, I got a ceiling fan over the winter. That's the investment I've ever done.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, that's like a
So nice.
Midwest thing too.
Ceiling fans?
Just us people who sleep with fans on.
Oh yeah.
It's like a Midwestern thing, I guess. I thought it was just normal human thing.
That's what I
Sleeping with a fan on. There's a few things people are puzzled about Midwesterners for. And I also don't consider Chicago Midwest because it's still a city. It's located in the Midwest, but not the personality of the Midwest. I know this because every time I go to Chicago and I like hold the door open for someone, they look at me with like fucking disgust. Like, and they just leave. I'm like, morning. And I'll like open the door for someone if they're like walking in like a store behind me and they just look at me like, they walk in and then like some out, or there's sometimes on a bus and I saw someone walking and I didn't really care. So I stood up and was like, here, take my seat. And they're just like, all right. I'm like, I'm not going to hurt you. Just fuck. And it's like everyone in the city is so like off put by just general manners.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jesus. Like, guys. And I'm like, I feel like if I go to LA or New York and I say good morning, I'll get like pepper sprayed or something. Like, morning. Ah. It's just because every time in Chicago, man, like whenever I don't go to the city a lot. Not a big city guy, but when I do go, whenever I try to be polite, people are really thrown off by it. And other people are just dicks to me in the city. Cut me off in the road. Like, dude, you have like an inch both in front and behind, and they still try to shift the car over. And I'm just like, Jesus, dude.
I don't drive the city. Never have.
Stupid.
Never plan on it.
Mine is like the one-way roads. I don't go to the city enough, so like I couldn't imagine our parents who didn't have like Google Maps, because Google Maps will just completely avoid one-way roads,
Yeah.
right? It'll just not even make that an option. Is just like I get so confused by one-way roads.
Yeah.
I would definitely die making a right turn and be like, oh, that's a road. Making a right turn and be like, all the cars are coming towards me on this road. And I get real, I'd sit there like, I guess I die. Yeah,
This is how it happens.
I understand one-way roads and why they exist.
Yeah.
It just confuses me. So like those people who have just lived in the city and they just know every road and every alleyway and every freaking one-way, I couldn't do it. I also don't like going far for work, so I would just move next to where I work. Or you get really lucky and like where you work is actually part of the apartment complex you're living in, and you're like, I'm just gonna go down the elevator to work.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
If I ever had a shit ton of money, that would be what I did. Well,
You like open
I
up
have
a
a
place
few
right up here.
options. Yeah, I have a few options. Either I live in a houseboat in Key West, or I move to the Pacific Northwest and boat and be like a fisherman, or I get a high-rise penthouse. It's like never leave.
No, see what I would do if I made enough money. Because I saw a guy do this. I don't know if you remember this old interview about the accountant, and he made enough money, and he just wanted to work on his like fantasy football teams and do stuff at work. So he would get all the paperwork he needed to do for the whole day, and he would outsource it to a guy in India and email him, and he would pay him 68 cents an hour to do his work, and then email it back, and he would just double check it, and it was always done properly, and he would just file that into work. And like he still, even after 68 cents an hour, like he still made enough to be comfortable. Also, I was like, if I had a job to where like I could like survive and pay someone else, I would just outsource my.
Damn.
You've never seen that?
No.
You'll have to look it up, like accountant outsources. And I don't know if it was a real video or a
Yeah.
skit, but it was like an actual news report and all that, and it was done so real that I couldn't tell
Huh.
if it was real or not. Because it's like an old video. It's from like
Yeah.
the 90s, 80s or 90s or some shit like that. And then like they found the guy apparently that he was like paying, and the guy's like, oh yeah, I'm very happy for the 68 dollars an hour. It gives me money to feed my family, and it lets Donald have more time to focus on his fantasy football team.
Oh,
And I'm like, this is actually like genius, dude. Like 2 people get
that's
jobs,
hilarious.
and he gets to do whatever he wants. Yeah, we'll have to find that after the stream because it's like golden. I would do that. No, I'm not saying anything. I just go to my boss and be like, nah, dude, I'm just that good. Or I would snap like, what was it? Office Space. He's like, I really only do 15 minutes of work here. He's like, look, I do just enough not to get fired, and you guys have no reason to fire me. So, and I would just do that. And just be like, yep. I'm also just not. I joke, but in all realism, like I'm not someone that would ever survive in a cubicle job. I would actually go crazy. Or like an office job. Like I would go nuts just being stuck in an office. No offense, Brad.
No.
In front of a computer all day and just sort of like I would lose my mind. My dream job would, but I did think of a dream job where it's not like therapy, because like, you know, therapy, you have a degree
Yeah.
and stuff. But I have thought about doing a job where you just like talk to people. That's it. Like it's not like a therapy, but like not like you're not an actual therapist and it's like noted.
Yeah.
But someone's like, man, I just need to like talk. Like whether it's a TV show, like man, I just want to talk to someone about this show. Have like a place where it's like you have people work and they'll just do web calls or Discord or something. And it's like people that don't have friends or something, they can just call in and be like, yeah, did you watch the new episode of this and that? Like just people who just want to talk
Yeah.
and chill out. And I would charge them $500 an hour just like a freaking therapist. I'm kidding. But like I thought about like opening something like that, like
Play games.
yeah, pay someone to play a game with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just
That's a real thing.
really.
I've seen those.
Well, I know like didn't Drake and stuff like pay a bunch of like streamers to like carry them in Fortnite and stuff like
I
that.
don't know if he got paid, but I remember he played Fortnite with Ninja, I think. And it ended up being like the biggest stream in Twitch history or something.
Apparently Ninja has found God recently, is what I've seen.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, him and Joe Rogan both have just started going to church every Sunday.
Huh.
I mean, I'm not hating. I'm just stating.
I think it was nice.
It's just weird because if you ever hear, maybe he did mute God. I don't know if anyone ever heard like Ninja's like old Halo 3 and Halo 2 days. Very different person. So
Was
maybe,
he?
oh yeah. So maybe maybe God is what he needed. Or felt he needed. You know what I also thought about doing?
Hmm.
Well, it wasn't me alone. I was talking to my friends, and he's like, dude, we should make a video game and actually teach people how to have a backbone. And it's like, and he was like, we're gonna put like a mute button, make the mute button super accessible. So if you don't like what someone's saying, you can just mute them in chat. And then we'll have a report button, and it will say for cheating or other. And if they click cheating, you can type in how they're cheating, and we'll investigate it. But if you type in other, and it's like being mean in chat or stuff, we ban your account instead. And say, yeah, you could have just muted this person, but instead you had to act like a little bitch. It's I'm like, damn, dude, that's cold. And he's like, my friend was just like making fun of MAGA, and he's like, nah, we need to make gamers strong again. And I was like, oh my god, dude. But at the same time, I was like, that's really funny. Can you imagine, like, yeah, I banned him because he called me like a silly wiener in chat. And I was like, all right, you're banned. You fucking tattletale. You fucking cunt. And then you get bullied by the devs, you'll fucking tattletale. You are a wiener. Oh. So I am a big fan, dude. I will say when it comes to games, I do get turned off. I don't say like heinous stuff on chat, right? If someone's actually annoying, I do just mute them and I'm like, whatever,
Yeah.
forget about them. Like, I don't care to report someone because, you know, we all know, I think the general populace knows that like people don't mean anything they say on the internet. They just say it because it's funny and they want to get, like, they know someone will get hurt.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same reason like people bullied in school. Like, there's no depth to it or there's no belief to it. They just think it's funny. But the difference with school, you can't really just leave. But like, cat, you can just mute and be done with. And what's I saying? But oh yeah, I do get turned off in games. Yeah, when we like load up and it's like, yeah, we are monitoring and recording all chat sessions. And I'm like, dude, like, instead of doing that, just like maybe put a tutorial up and saying like, hey, like, you know, online interactions not rated by ESRB. Here's a tutorial if someone is saying something you don't like, you know, someone says you suck at the game, the chat, you can click, you know, tab brings up the lobby menu and you can right click their name and click mute and it just gives you a tutorial. That way you will no longer have to hear about how bad you are at the game. Yeah. But I'm just saying, man. Or it's like TV too, like when people just don't change the channel, they're like, no,
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna change the channel. I'm gonna get the channel shut down. Or this program shut down. And it's like, bro, just change the channel. You know? You'll find peace a lot faster by changing the channel than going to war.
Yeah.
I just don't have the fight in me, I guess, for a lot of this stuff.
I do both.
You report them and
I
mute them.
report and mute. And
I'll report if they're cheating. Like if I actually think they're cheating. I'm not one of those people that just die and they're like, oh yeah, he's cheating. But like if I actually think someone's cheating, I'll report. If someone's being annoying, if they're being funny.
well, yeah. there's a
When
difference.
I will say, when I hear someone get pissed off, I mute everything because I want to hear. I want to hear the crash. But like, if someone's being funny, I won't mute them. I just don't interact with it.
Yeah.
But if someone's actually annoying, like, I mute them. But I always say something muting before I mute him. Like, I'll just sit there and be like, Jesus, I gotta mute this guy. He's fucking idiot. And then I click mute. And that way I never get to have to hear their response, and they just have to live with it. They just have to live knowing they'll never get a chance to fight back. Like the trash talk I do is I do polite, where it's like, I think you probably heard. I'll try doing polite trash talk. Like I'll sit there in a game, and if like someone's doing really bad and we're just in quick play, I'll just sit there, like, and someone will be like, "Oh, this person's shit," and I was like, "Dude, like we're in quick play, like we're in quick play. It's not ranked. It doesn't matter. Who cares that they're fucking god awful at the game?
Yeah.
You know, we're in quick play, so they can suck all they want. And by the way, you do suck, but it's quick play, so who cares?"
Yeah.
And it's like, and I'll just say little things like that, like, cause it's like, because they sit there like, I don't know if he's trying to be nice or whatever, or I just do. Or oh, I can't say that on stream, but I'll tell you in private, like what I used to do. It's not that bad. It's not that bad, guys. It's just I don't want to say on stream, but it's like how I used to talk. It's like the same way I used to like pretend to be caring, but it was really insulting. Like we've all said some stuff on games, but I like if I heard someone getting like shit talked in a game, I would just be quiet. And eventually I was like, "Can you leave the guy alone, dude? It's pretty obvious he's like on the spectrum." But I would use like a different word. They would just be like, "Yo, what the fuck you said?" It's like, "Bro, I got your back. Don't worry." Like, and I would just sit there and just be that dude that's like, everyone sits there like, "What fucking side's he on?" And I'm like, I'm playing for both teams.
Yeah.
But like, I love to do it. Like, that was my favorite. Is like the defensive insult when you like, it sounds like you're defending them, but then you insult them at the same time. It's really like, it's not that funny, but it's funny. Like, I always found it more funny when people did that to me rather than, because I've had people do it to me. I prefer that to just like calling someone an idiot.
Yeah.
Or, like, straight trash talk. I would just be like, don't be mean, dude. Can't you see that they're just fucking terrible? Like, it's not their fault. They're just, some people just don't have the capabilities to dodge, grab, and roll ball. Fucking WoW reference, guys, if you played the newest raid. And I just be like, yeah, they just don't have the capabilities, man. It's not my fault. Like, some people never learn how to walk. Like, you gotta be nice to them. Just sit there like, oh, thanks. And that was my trash talk back in the day. Now I don't trash talk. I vent to my Discord, but I never actually leave, like, go to in-game chat. I'll just look at Brad. I'll just be on mic with Brad, be like, God, this person is absolutely killing. Brad, I can feel my brain cells leaping off a cliff right now. I can't do this. And I'll vent to Brad, and he'll be like my bartender or therapist, same thing. And I've heard Brad, though, pop off when playing Overwatch. Brad's got heated, dude. Everyone has this misconception that Brad is just like the chill dude. No. Brad, there are some people online that I am still scared for their personal safety. The way Brad's gone. Brad is cursed. This fucking idiot. This goddamn stupid fucking widow. Jeez. Just like, damn, Brad, let it out.
Oh man. Yeah, I try not to do that. But every once in a while, man, there's people draw it out of me.
Or you could tell when someone was getting mad, like, even if they're not, or I love doing, like, when you could tell someone was getting mad, and not like being insulted, but like, you could just tell someone was getting mad, like, they try to diffuse the situation, and I'd be like, no, I'm gonna ignite it. So you'd see someone getting mad, and I'll be like, bro, you don't have to yell and scream. Like, it's okay. Keep it bottled in. It's okay to be a pussy every once in a while. Just don't say anything. Let the guy get away with it. And then they start screaming, and then I mute myself, and I just watch them go at it. That's the stuff. That's like Jake, dude. How Jake was just like, he would just poke the bear.
Yep.
I don't like being in the internet drama, but I love watching it. So
Yep.
if I see an opening to get two other people in the game chat to start fighting, I will hit that because it's so funny to listen to.
Dude, that honestly being that kind of like stir is what made Rust so great back in the day. I mean, it still might be good. I just haven't played it in years, but doing the social engineering and like getting two factions to fight against each other, and like it was just so much fun.
Dude, we had I was playing Ark, and it was just the way this guy talked. Have you ever seen that guy who goes like? Everyone's seen the video. Have you seen the guy who does like the better English when they're like they show a picture of like a coffin and they're like, what is it? He's like a casket.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
The guy talked like that, and I remember we played Ark. We found his tribe, and we were like mining the iron, and he's like, "Hey, we're the alpha, so you got to give us 10%, 10 or 20% of the copper you make, and
Yeah.
we all share mats, and there's no war here." And it's like, that's not how
How
it's
GPU you put in there?
5070 prime.
Robert?
Yes.
Yeah, we're building it live on stream.
And I was like, I don't think that's how it works. And he's like, apparently you've never heard of communism. And I was just like, Jesus Christ. Dude, that was like on my first day playing Ark. I got educated on dinosaur communism. Oh, dude, those games, like the social aspect are fun. I miss the old Halo 2 days, dude. I miss people just raging.
Yeah.
I like, because the reason it was always funny to hear people rage is 90% of the time it was their fault. Like, I remember, like, I would play Halo and I'd pick up, like, the sword, and it'd always be the same guy walking down the same stairs, and I'd sword him. He'd respawn, and, like, I could guess it, like, within the next 30 seconds, same guy would come down that same staircase, same guy, I'd sword him again. You are a fucking pussy. You're just sitting down this stairs. And I was like, if I'm a pussy, you're just fucking stupid, dude. Why'd you go down
Stop
this
doing
thing?
the same
Yeah,
thing.
why do you keep going down the same staircase?
Yeah.
I don't. Same thing on Gears. Like whenever I pick up the long shot on Gears, some dude like runs up the stairs at me with a shotgun, so I pop his head off while he's bouncing it into the walls. He'd try again. He'd pull out the shotgun, bounce between the walls, get his head popped off. He'd sit there. It's like, do it again. He'd do it again. He'd die, and I'd just be like. Then when like the after lobby chat, I was like, bro, you do realize that every time you went up those stairs, it didn't work out. Shut the fuck up, dude. You're a fucking pussy up there with the sniper rifle. It's like, yeah. So why did you just keep climbing? Why did you keep going up the same stairs? I don't get it. And it's like that was my favorite thing. It's like because you get those people who just like talk shit, but like they literally, like you said, they would just do the same thing over and over, fail every time. It's like when people go after a camper in Call of Duty and they just keep dying.
Yep.
And they're like, this guy's fucking camping. And it's like, maybe if you don't go in the building, he won't get any kills. Stop going in there.
Yep.
If he's just sitting in front of that doorway, don't go through the doorway. And guess what? That takes away all his kills.
Exactly.
He'll have, you have to starve him out. That's how you get campers. You starve them out. You ignore that spot, and then the hunger builds, and eventually they'll leave. Oh, I miss Xbox 360 like messages. The messages people would send you, dude. Oh, so good. I'm getting nostalgic. I want to bring it back. There was just something fun. Like I feel like some people act like it's such a bad thing, but whenever someone like sent me like a hate-filled message, I felt so good about myself. I was like, dude, I really got under this guy's skin. Like, you know what I mean? Like, man, I must have been really good that match to make this guy so angry. It's like a compliment,
Yeah.
Like your KD is so good that someone sends you hate mail. And you're like, hell yeah, dude. Like this is. People still do it occasionally, but it's like not as fun. They just go touch grass. It's like, no, dude. Like, you gotta call me. Call me something
about it.
Yeah,
man.
you gotta call me. Like,
Call me a name.
Yeah.
Call me fat. Something.
yeah, do something,
Give
dude.
me some substance.
Because like back in the day, they were like, I fucked your mom and you were.
Yeah.
You crawled out of that bucket and you finally like got an Xbox and had your revenge, but it won't happen next time. It's like, dude, like people thought of the craziest shit back in those days. And it was so fun and I miss it. I miss it. It's like if a painter was just told they weren't allowed to paint anymore. Like the
Yeah.
art just died. The art of internet fun died. And the thing is, like, I totally understand people who don't like that, like people who just want to be quiet and just talk to their friends. And that's why I believe heavily in the mute button.
Where's the box?
So you don't have to be involved.
He brought it back, I think.
The box for the other one? Yeah, it's on the there, everything's at the programming table. Oh, those were the days, Brad. Let's bring him back. Let's make gaming toxic again. It'll be our little hat. I'm not saying it was right, but I am saying it was fun. WoW, though, I think it's because we grew up on WoW and Call of Duty. So back in those days, it's like you had to have a pair. Some stuff was just over the line, dude. You want to hear a really messed up story in WoW? So I remember it was Alduar, and we waited for like an hour asking for a tank to join.
Yeah.
And we finally got a tank. We traveled to the raid, fucking invited them to Discord, or not Discord, TeamSpeak. Got them in the TeamSpeak. I did not say anything because I was just like, there's like 30 something people in this chat, so I'm just like, or like 20 people in the chat. So I was being pretty quiet. And it was a chick. She's like, hey, thanks for the invite. Immediately, you hear the beep and kicked from Discord. And I was like, fuck. And then the leader's like, yeah, boys, I'm trying to get this done quick. I don't have time to fucking do a tutorial on this raid. And I sat there like, that's a little far, dude. Like, he legit was like, yeah, nope, And I was like, but this was like 2008, guys. This was those days. And I was like, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
She was so nice too. She's like, hey, thanks for the invite. Let's do this. And just bleep.
Oh my god.
Gone. And I was like, oh my god. I wonder if she still thinks about that, whoever she was. That one day. And he went back and they waited for another hour to get someone. And he got like some 18-year-old kid, and he's like, yep, perfect. That's what we needed. We need someone with no life. Because he was like 40. Like, the guy who was doing the raids, he was like 40, so he was just like, he was like, no. Doing this.
I miss the feel of old WoW.
Yep, that's why I think everyone's praying for ashes. I think.
I miss it.
Do you remember back in the day when you would actually ask people what level they were?
Yeah.
Because it mattered, like the journey mattered. You'd be like, dude, what level did you hit? Now it's like, how many times have you done the same raid?
Yeah.
How many bosses did you clear?
Now it feels like a queue simulator.
Yeah.
Half the time.
Yeah, like you do. If you're not crafting or like mount farming, yeah, it really is. Oh, sit in Dornagal for now and just look for someone to do keys or the raid.
Yeah.
Why is this being a pain in my hands? Oh, there we go. What in the world? I gotta turn this around. I'm spinning really slow.
You can lower the desk if you need it.
Oh no, it's fine. Oh, I see. We're good. No. I can lower the desk. Or I mean, I'm good on the desk. It's good. Sometimes it's hard for me to get the cool. Ooh. Gonna take a nap. I wish we had cots.
Cots.
Cots are like a bunk bed. Like a bunk bed with like the actual desk under it. So if you take a lunch break, you can
There you go.
up and take like game for 30 minutes and go up and take a 30-minute nap. Or I wish we had a gym in here.
That'd be cool.
Just a cable machine. Like the all-in-one cable bench
Bowflex?
squat. Yeah. Bowflex.
Do they still make Bowflex?
I haven't seen like the brand Bowflex.
Does that date me?
But they probably still do. You know what one of the scariest
Yeah,
things?
they're still around.
You know what? I loved using them, but I was also terrified of them. Was resistant bands,
Oh yeah.
because I have legit seen in person at the gym like bands snapping and people just getting fucking smacked right in the eye.
Yep. Yeah, those scare me.
Because it's like when they're brand new, you're good, you're fine. But like every once in a while, at some point they're gonna hit 5 or 6 years old, and when you have like 30 different people using them a day.
What build are we doing now? We're doing another Legionnaire. Basically the same specs as last time, the first build. But it's just another Legionnaire.
Yeah. So if you were in the stream, we started at 10. If you were at the first part of the stream, yeah, it's the same exact. 2 of them in a row. I mean, it is a good like bang for the buck model though.
Oh yeah. 100%.
So this is one of the models I would say. This and like the Centurion are probably the ones I build the most. I love that Centurion though. Just because the 216 is such a nice case to build in. One thing I've learned about like when you start, I built PCs for fun for about 16 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm 31, 16 years. And when I was like just building for fun, everything was aesthetics to me. Like
Yeah.
what case I wanted. Once I started turning this into a job, now my favorite thing about PCs is how easy is it to build in. I was like, I'll take the uglier case, not uglier case, but I'll take the personal preference, less appealing case if it's just super, if I can just build it like in 10 minutes. And it's like, it's funny how my like priorities have like shifted on what I find important about builds. Because I used to even have some RGB in my system, like very light. And it's like after I started like working here is when I'm like, dude, I'm just going full black. I'm so sick of RGB cables. I'm so sick of doing this.
Yeah.
Full black. Because I used to just do like little orange accents or white fans if my case had like RGB fans. Now I'm just black. I was like, I don't have the patience. And it's just funny how it's like I said, like your priorities shift. Because it's like I love building computers, but I also have gotten to the point where like I hate working on my first computer. Like I just want this sit there.
Yep.
Like dude,
Well, I don't touch anything in it.
this is
Like,
over
I don't
dramatic.
care.
This is over dramatic. But there's times where you want to cry. You're like, I wish I wasn't a man. I could cry. Because you get home, you're like, I've had a long day. It's like 90 degrees. You sit down, your computer doesn't work, and you're like,
Yep.
you know, you're like there. You're like, fuck this. If I was 30 years younger, I'd just cry right now.
Yep.
I would bawl. And like, so I made sure my personal computers have as little points of failure as possible. Because I just like, I realized like one of the bottom fans on my case, one of them stopped spinning, so it disconnected from the splitter, and I let it sit there because I still has 2 other bottom intake fans. I let it sit there for like 2-3 weeks before I decided to do anything about it. I'm just like, I just don't want to open it, man. I just don't want to get in there. Because then I'll have to take the GPU out, because the GPU is like right up against those fans. So I'll have to take this out, and I'll have to do this. Like, I open my computer once a week to dust it really fast, and that takes like 30 seconds. I don't mind doing it, but man. That's why, like, sometimes we get people that like talk about like the stuff they do to their computers, and I'm like, I don't get it. Me, I just don't ever want to touch my computer.
Yeah, if it's working, I don't touch it.
I also don't cable. I cable manage my computer where it's functional, but I don't cable manage it as well as like I can't cable manage customer computers.
Yeah.
Because I don't zip tie ever. Like some computers have like a channel, right? And I'll route them to that channel through the channel, put the Velcro on, and that's it. I don't like zip tie because it's like I put a back panel on, I know I don't see the cables. So as long as this side, like the you know, the front looks good, that's all I care about. The back I don't care, because it's like if I put like 30 zip ties on it, yeah, it looks nice, but then if like something breaks, like a fan breaks, I have to cut all those zip ties to take the cable out. So I'm just like, I'll run it through the channels, do the stock Velcro strap that's in the back of the case, and that's good. That's fine. It works for me, guys. So I would say like the cabling I do here, my computer's about like, my computers are usually 60% how well I cable here.
Yeah.
Versus my own. And it's crazy because normally you think you care more about your stuff, your own stuff, than other people. No. I could have a cop nest in the back of my case. If I don't see it, I don't care. Because how I see it is everything's wide open. It's a lot easier to work on if something does go wrong.
Yep.
Because like, just as long as it takes to manage cables, it can take just as long to dismantle those cables. And I'm happy with that. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go grab the water real fast. I am. I'm rolling my own hydrates.
Could you grab me one too?
Regular or like
One of the sparkling ones. Thank you. It doesn't matter. Surprise me. Hey, what's up, Claire? How's it going? How have you been? I feel like it's been a couple weeks since you've hopped on. Third. Can't complain.
I can.
Nick can,
I'm
but
back.
I can't. How have you been, Nick? Claire's asking.
Oh, dude, it's 90 degrees in the warehouse. I'm standing here building a PC, sweating. Emotionally, I'm okay. Physically, I am completely zero battery right now. And I told Brett, I warned Brett, I was going to start talking a lot just to keep myself awake.
Yeah. Nobody has won our giveaway, but the beam giveaway just ended. Saturday? Somebody won that. But we'll be doing something with our giveaway PC. We'll be doing something with that pretty soon. Yeah, it's really hot and humid here in Illinois for like the last week and a half.
Mm-hmm. Like humid to the point where it's almost adding like 10 degrees.
Yeah.
Onto whatever the ambient temperature is.
Yeah, we don't have AC yet in the warehouse.
Because it's also like rain, so it will rain and then immediately go back up to like 85, and then all that rain turns into humidity, and it will feel like 100.
Heck yeah! Appreciate that, Claire. dry and hot here. Everything is so dry, it's ready for fire.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
it's
just
for me. For me, it's weird to think that like Colorado is like an arid climate. I always think it's snow.
it's pretty south.
It's
dude.
only snow in the mountains.
Yeah, Colorado is southwest.
Yeah.
It's warmer when you go south.
Oh yeah, I know that, but I never thought of it as like desert. You know, 'cause,
Oh,
like,
no,
South
there's
Park is,
definitely-
like, South Park. You always think of Colorado because of the
Yeah, I don't know why
Skiing and
they
stuff,
always.
but
I get what you're saying. I never understood why South Park stuck with the winter vibe
yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, we're getting AC put in the warehouse.
Allegedly. No, we are.
Yeah. No, it's happening.
It's happening, or else it's.
We have AC in like the front office area, but just not
Yeah, I was gonna
the warehouse.
say
Like where Nick is most of the time.
It would turn into Goodfellas here pretty quick. If AC did not.
Yeah.
I'd find that landlord. Nah. But it would be really, really hurt. I'd use all my vacation days, be like, TJ, I'm not going anywhere. It's hot, dude. I'm gonna sit at home for 2 weeks and sip at my tie. Like, honestly, dude, my dream right now, all my brain is focusing on is I'm like daydreaming, and I'm like sitting in a pool right now with a Moscow Mule, and nobody knows where I'm at. Phone battery died. This is
Yeah, you have a basically a giant pool in your backyard too.
yeah.
Not necessarily the cleanest, but
No, it's not actually that bad. It's just like I even shower after like a regular pool because like you get the chlorine in your hair and it gets all dry. But like,
pool sounds good, Claire.
but I just don't
Be
go
able
out
to
there
and see ya.
because it's just hot, dude. And like the water feels nice, but then like when you have the water on you, I feel like when you have water on you, you just burn more. It's almost like the water like magnifier.
Yeah.
Magnifying glass effect.
Oh yeah, the beam giveaway ended. I gotta change the title. Sorry about that.
Change it when the stream's almost done.
Yeah, sorry about that. You're right.
It's fucking-
All right, guys, we're back.
Sorry, Brad was getting. He was venting, getting everything out. I told you, dude, when Brad mutes it, it's a little startling. Brad, did I tell you the one lawsuit that's happening? Did I tell you that they all got served on the dude's birthday?
Yeah.
It's,
Yep.
it's amazing. So, can you imagine sitting there, you're blowing out your candles, and like you get the phone call, job's done, sir. You've all been served, and you're just like,
Yep. And the one guy is crashing out every stream.
and then I like how they finally did put someone who was a male under the bus, and he's like, okay, and he added him to
Yeah.
the list.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, sweet. I saw
Did you hear the ultimatum?
the lawyer that suggested.
No, he said, he's like, if you give the three people each 25,000 to help support their case, I'll drop the guy's case. Like publicly give him 25K because well, I won't say his name, but he started saying like, he's like, if I do support him, you guys won't know about it because I'll do it privately, and the guy suing was like, if you do that, it'll all come out in discovery. So we'll find out whether or not you actually did or didn't.
I just want them to live stream it, dude. I love watching Aswan go, please, I need this. Just like begging, you know, I'm like, dude, we all need this. Stream it.
I love that he calls Trump the content president.
Yeah, the content president. I mean, he is though.
He is.
Like that's why, like, I feel like low key, even when streamers don't like him, and it's okay not to like Trump, right? Like, I'm not here. I feel like everyone. The beauty of humanity is we all have our personal outlook on everything. And so I'm not here to say anything, but I do find it funny. Like I have this weird belief that all streamers, even if they shit talk him, they voted for him because they know they'll be able to milk content. Because it's like you can only make so many, like Kamala didn't really work at McDonald's jokes. Because like we all saw that, like the original image, you know, they pulled the image from someone's obituary and photoshopped her face on it in like the McDonald's outfit.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like you can only joke about that so many times, but then they see Trump and they're like, we get 4 solid fuck. So I feel like all content creators secretly voted for Trump because it's a huge payout. I can't prove it. But I have very strong suspicions.
Do the wolf.
The other one? Okay.
If not, he says it's no big deal.
Okay.
Because that would be 3 on the machine.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, Angel, I should be able to chat at like. That's it now.
Is it past
Like
noon?
2:30? Yeah, it's 12:30.
Oh, jeez.
I could chat around 2:30.
That's not good.
Does that work?
Son of a gun. This- Oh, he did though. I did see they stopped the war in Congo.
Yeah, I heard that
That's
too.
pretty cool. I didn't know 8 million people have died.
Yeah, neither did I.
That was nuts. I had heard that. I was like, "There's no way." And I looked it up and I was like, "Jesus, dude! It's not even 6 million. It's 8."
Yeah,
Oh my God.
one of those wars you didn't even know what was going on.
No. Yeah. Do you know? I don't know if it ended, but do you know? The last one I heard, there's still technically a war between Canada and Denmark. There's never a peace treaty signed, but now it's like it's turned into a war like the last however like decade plus,
Yeah,
and it's like an island near Canada, and they were at war with Denmark, and now it's just like turned into a meme where like they still have not signed the peace treaties. You'll have to look this up because I can't remember the name of the island or the name of the war. And what happens is Canada will go there and like bring a bunch of Canadian liquor and get plastered drunk.
yeah.
and leave the liquor there. And then Denmark soldiers, after a while, will go and drink all the Canadian liquor that was left behind, get plastered drunk, and then they'll leave liquor from Denmark, and they just keep going back and forth, drinking each other's liquor when the other one's not there, and just leaving it. And like, there's been no official peace treaty signed, but like, the war's kind of over, but it's still actually like legally in effect, and that's just all they do. And I'm
That's
like,
hilarious.
that's amazing. And I can't remember the name of the war, but if you look that up, like Canadian, like look up like Canada, Denmark, like war with like alcohol, or like leaving each other alcohol or whatever. And they're just like giving each other alcohol. That's really the war is.
Whiskey war.
Yeah, it's been going on for a while.
Yeah, known as liquor wars, is an amicable border dispute between the Kingdom of Denmark and Canada over Hans Island.
Yeah, and they just like chill and they just give each other liquor.
Both countries agreed in a process in 2015 or 2005 to resolve the issue, which was finally settled in 2022, resulting in the creation of a land border on the island between the two states.
Oh, so it stopped in
So it
2022.
has stopped, yeah.
Oh, damn. There were probably there's that one platoon that like really loved their job. Like they're like, yeah, dude, another 4 years, let's go. And they're like, they just keep going to the island, getting some drinks. Yeah, it's just funny that was an actual like real meme war. It was a real thing. They're like,
Yeah,
hey,
that's funny.
yeah, like when you look into what they actually did, there was like no fighting. Well, there was, but like for the most part, it was just like, hey, we'll leave you some whiskey. You get drunk and tell us how good it is, and you leave us with your whiskey.
The island isn't even that cool looking.
No,
It's like just a
no, they would,
rock in the middle of the ocean.
yeah, and then would just,
That's hilarious.
yeah. How long did it go on for, the drinking part of it?
I don't know. It didn't say. But the
It
whole
was-
war was 1978 to 2022.
Yeah, like it was quite a while where they would just,
It's like 40 years.
yeah, it was quite a while where it was just drinking. That was
That's
it.
hilarious.
Like they would, the fighting eventually just sizzled out, and they're like, how about we just get drunk instead? Can't aim with 10 shots at you.
What's up, humanity? How's it going, man? Catching us right at the end of our stream here.
Oh yeah, we are putting the panels back on.
Looks better on camera.
Okay. Yeah, we are putting the panels back on. About to power this board.
Okay,
When you send it over to me, just so that I know,
cool.
and I want to send it start. Sure, I can.
Xenox, what's up, man?
Let's go blue. Oh no, there's the rainbow.
Taste the rainbow.
I can't say it. We have one more day of that joke.
Yeah.
Was that too much? I thought that was tasteful. There's a line. I like to walk it, but I don't like to cross it.
Sweet. Well, that is the end of the stream. What are the specs of this PC? Here, I'll show them off real quick.
Yeah.
Here we go.
i7 14700K and an RTX 5070.
But yeah, I think we're gonna have, since we're not streaming on Friday, we're gonna be streaming I think tomorrow. But so pay attention to our socials. I'll post it there. Once I have that all figured out. And yeah. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hope you had a great weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow or Wednesday. See you guys.
It's just boot cycling, guys. Don't worry.
Yep, don't
I
worry.
feel like people get scared when they see it just shut off.
Yeah.
Everyone.
But all right, yeah. Take care, guys.